If you've been to a theme park in your life, chances are you've gotten to meet some of your favorite cartoon characters in a larger-than-life form. Perhaps you've high-fived a cartoon mouse, or hugged your favorite princess, or even posed for a pic with a giant smiling chocolate bar. But did you ever stop to think about who the human was inside of these costumes? Well, today we are going to find out what a theme park character does. Hi, I'm Red Younger, and this is It's My Job to Know Yours. Today in studio, we are joined by not just the funniest person in the world, but also my good friend, Jessie. Jessie.
Thanks. Hi, everybody.
Thank you for coming on the show this morning.
Oh
How
my
are
God,
you?
thanks for having me. This is fun. I'm
Right?
doing well. How are you?
Right. This is. I told you it'd be a lot of fun. Come on the show. We'll hang out. It'll be a good time.
We're gonna laugh.
We're gonna laugh a lot. I think that we do a lot of different episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Some are more serious. Some are more entertaining. And I think that this episode is just pure entertainment.
Oh, it's gonna be fun. There's gonna be a lot of emotions in here.
You and I go way back. I think it was really funny how you and I were both auditioning for a television show.
Yeah,
and I met you outside of the room at auditions.
Oh my God, and I was flipping out because he walks in with this like headshot, and I was like, oh crap. Because see, I'm from the theater world. So in theater world, you have your headshot in hand. TV world, you usually submit your stuff and you just walk in.
Well, I had submitted everything, but I always figured it was more professional to show up
And
with a
that is
headshot
true.
with your resume in the back and whatever. And Jessie looks at me and she's all like, You brought your headshot? Like, I didn't bring mine. And I was like, just tell them you're being eco-friendly and trying to save the environment and you do everything digital. And then you did it. And then you got the part.
Well, because the advice was that you had left with me was, listen, if it's yours, it's yours. Just be the best that you can be. So yeah, I walked into the room and was like, gave him this like 15 minutes of, first of all, it's like $400 for like a stack. And we really don't have that kind of money. And two, I'm just trying to be eco-friendly.
Okay.
I'm tired of trees being cut down.
Yeah. So first and foremost, yes, definitely. If the part's meant for you, do it, go for it, whatever, a headshot or not. I mean, it's all digital. I think that the headshot resume thing is so old school.
It is.
Which I kind of like it a little bit. It makes you feel like an actor bringing in there, like holding your headshot. But can I like give you a little secret?
Sure.
I get all of my headshots and resumes printed at Staples, and it cost me maybe like $2 each or something like that.
Yeah,
you get
I started
it on,
getting that.
You get it on like glossy paper. Like people are way overpaying for their headshots printed.
They are.
But we're here to focus today on one of your specific creative outlets. You worked as a theme park character. Now, for legal reasons, we're not going to mention which theme park. We're not going to mention what character you were, and that completely understandable. But this is just in the more broader spectrum of what a theme park character goes through. Obviously, every park,
there's like events too. Like people hire actors to do all kinds of things at events. It's all over actor pages. So every company has their own policy, their own rules. Obviously you need to be somewhat fit to do it because, that stamina, honey, the stamina, you need that. It's
So,
great.
Aside from theme park characters, you also were hired to play characters for other like private events and other like companies.
Yeah.
Can you give me a for instance of what you've like dressed up as?
There was one instance where I dressed up as a cigarette.
You dressed up as a cigarette.
Yeah.
Why?
It was to promote not smoking. Believe it or not.
That's kind of ironic.
That's what I said too.
And then what did you have to do as a cigarette?
You're just at events. So basically it's like taking pictures, seeing people, and then the company you're with has like their own like little agenda that is basically to like stop smoking.
That's so strange. That is so strange to
I
dress
felt
up.
so too.
To dress up as the thing that you're like promoting is bad, and you're in this like giant, like, is it like a big happy face cigarette?
It has no face.
Oh, it has no face.
Like, that's what I'm saying. So it's completely like, it's an object.
So how do you see?
So everyone's is different. Your visuals are very limited.
So you have this like giant cigarette costume kind of like on you, off you. Are your hands inside? Are they outside?
Outside.
They're outside. So it's a giant cigarette with hands. And then what about your feet?
Just my feet.
You can wear any shoes with it?
No, black shoes.
Black shoes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Sneakers.
I mean, I don't know about you, but a cigarette in heels sounds really sexy to me.
I should have done no, because sometimes you're at those events for hours. Absolutely not.
No, I'm kidding. But okay, so you dress up, and then you're at these events, and what are you do? You're just handing out like anti-smoking pamphlets, like.
Well, not me per se.
So it's just like, hey, we hate smoking, therefore we have a 12-foot giant cigarette walking around, hitting you in the face to show you the dangers of cigarettes.
Pretty much, yeah.
This company needs to get their shit together.
Well, yeah.
What other objects or things have you dressed up as outside of theme parks? For pay.
For pay.
Well, I mean, like I'm not talking about like like Halloween, but I'm talking about like.
And that's what it was basically Halloween every day for me.
Kind of.
Yeah.
It sounds. I
like,
mean, that's
doing this is like it's Halloween every day, basically.
Really.
Yeah.
If you like Halloween, I guess that's a good thing.
Hey, get that money.
Whatever pays your bills.
Yeah. I mean, that's like probably my most memorable one besides being in a theme park.
Fun. Okay, so you were working as an actor, and then you did this in the theme parks.
Yeah.
Kind of as a side job, or.
Well, so if you're going into for the audition process, basically, I originally was not even thinking about this job. Honestly, it just kind of came to me.
So how did it come about for you?
So I went into this theme park. They had open auditions, like every one of them does, and I went in.
I've never seen an open audition for.
They're all
park.
over like the actor pages, all over the actor pages. You just
okay.
take a look. Yeah. I walked in and had my headshot and resume in hand.
that explains it.
And then, went in, actually sang my song, did the dance call.
What can you sing whatever you want? Like.
Yeah. Usually it's like pop or surprisingly, so they had me do 2 songs. What did I sing?
That's so strange to me though, because characters at theme parks don't sing.
Right. Well, see, that's the thing. So it's like this is like a whole new world for me at this point. I sang a Christina Aguilera song, and then I sang the Christmas song. I kid you not. That's what I sang in January. And so we did that, did the dance call. Didn't get the show I wanted.
So you're auditioning for a specific character?
No, not for a character. To be like you would see those like live singer-dancer shows.
Gotcha. So it's like at like 3:00, come watch, this and this
Pop
character
at Grand.
here.
Come see these like your favorite 50s and 60s and songs, all in one show at 3:00, 5:00, in this grand theater. Okay.
Okay.
That's what I was going for. Didn't get it. So then they were like, well, basically she can dance. She's very full of energy. So they called me back into another audition. And this is where I was introduced to this whole other world.
Which is?
With characters.
With characters. Okay, I get that. Like, I've been to theme parks before where you'll, run into, like, a Marilyn Monroe or all that type of...
Right, and those are actually, like, they're considered face characters or, like, and they do walk around the park. These were not characters that I was going for. These were just human beings who can sing and dance in...
Putting on a show, basically just entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
And then they were like, we like your energy. We want to put you in a giant costume.
Basically.
Okay, so you came in for the second audition.
So it was more of a callback. They had me do another routine, like a dance routine, and this time I didn't sing.
Okay.
I thought that was weird, and I was like, okay.
Did you know what you were auditioning for?
Not at this point.
Okay, so they're just like...
This is like all in the dark for me.
Who's watching this audition? Like, how many people are in the room?
Ooh.
And who are they?
So at different places, it's usually like, your bosses, like the managers, supervisors, wardrobe. Yeah.
Okay.
They're usually in there.
So you're doing a dance number for them.
Yeah, I have no idea, and I'm like, what is this. Well, then
Did you prepare it? Like, were you, like, was it choreographed?
It's choreographed. You have to learn it on the spot. Like
So
any dance audition.
so are you dancing with other people as well?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Okay. So it's not like just you alone in a room dancing for a bunch of people. Okay.
It's like whenever they do a dance call, a lot of times, you know, depending on how many people, you'll all go in, you'll learn the dance, and then they'll usually do 3 to 5, have you guys spread out. And so now basically all eyes are on you because there's only 3 to 5 of you dancing. And they want to see how quick you can pick up and just basically how agile you are. Does that make sense?
Yeah. They want to see your movement. They want to see your rhythm. I personally have no rhythm at all. I've never done theater. I've never done like stage.
I will say this, and that actually brought me to, you just said that theater. I will say something about that at the end. Because if you want to do theater, this is definitely a job for you.
So this is like
definitely
they kind of go. I mean, I can imagine they go hand in hand. Dancing, theater, you know, it's live.
Your movements have to be twice as big as you, like twice as big. And if you think you're doing your movements big enough, you're not. Your note, every note that I've gotten, that everyone's ever gotten, make your movements bigger. So like if I'm saying hi to you, I can't just wave my hand like this. To say hi to you would be this.
So you have to be hyped up underneath the costume?
Absolutely.
Underneath inside?
Absolutely, yeah.
How would they know the difference?
What do you mean?
Like, you don't know what's happening inside, right, of this character.
Right.
So this person could technically be like, you know, hungover, half asleep.
And hey, I've been tired and like closed my eyes, but the fact is this is when you learn to do things with your body. Your eyes are closed and I'm saying hi to people. And this is what it looks like. My eyes are closed. My head is like cocked to the side and I'm like, hey there, how are you?
So, okay, so you're doing this dance routine, you're, you know, getting ready, whatever, and then you get the part. Now what?
So now I come back in and I'm like, oh, okay, so this particular time, we'll just go with this one. They were like, yeah, you know, you're going to do a show. And I'm like, sweet, a show. Like, this is great, right? Get to the stage. And I'm like.
Hold on. On day one, after this audition, they already send you out to do a show?
Yeah, you have to start rehearsals and training.
How long do you get to rehearse for?
Everybody's different. Like I said, if you're doing like events, usually it's like a day or two. If you're doing theme parks.
When do you find out what character you're playing?
When you get there.
When you show up to work or you show up to the audition?
When you show up to work, because at the audition, they've already measured you.
So did you have a character in mind that you were hoping to play?
Honestly, no, because this was whole brand new for me. I had no idea that I would ever do this.
And do you only get to play one character throughout your entire time while you're employed at the park? Or are you like, today you're going to be this, today you're going to be that, and you have to constantly be ready for any costume?
You're friends with whoever fits your personality.
This whole being friends with character things is very, very confusing for me. It's extreme, like being like, you're friends with one and then over the other. And what does that mean?
Friends with, basically, it's like a Batman Bruce Wayne thing. Like, you'll never see Batman and Bruce Wayne in the same room at the same time. I know these people, you could say, inside and out.
So this is basically like a rule for the park where basically you have to say that you are friends
with. Some places do that. Because to say like inside of kind of ruins the magic. Kind of ruins.
Yeah, nobody wants to have their head stuffed up a mouse, right?
No. So you would say friends with.
Gotcha. Okay, I have heard about this, that at other theme parks they'll be like, you know, these are, you know, cast members, or these are, you know,
you
friends
could say castmates
of the park,
yeah,
or whatever.
But just like just because we're saying like my experience, we're friends with.
So you're only going to refer from here on out the characters that you were friends with.
Yeah,
because of legal reasons, you're not allowed to say it at the
inside,
park. So therefore, I
don't think. I mean, I don't think I signed a gag order. So, but just because I'm so used to saying it, and B, like people hearing it, I don't want their kids to possibly hear it and be like, what? and then see somebody else hearing it and go, oh, really?
Yeah, and I hate to break it to you, Santa Claus isn't real either.
Oh, I know a couple of those too. I know several of those, but it's also just like lingo. Like, so since I'm teaching you, yeah. So
I actually am putting it out there that I really want to interview a mall Santa, like very badly. If you're a mall Santa and you're watching this, please reach out.
I have a Santa friend.
Do you?
I will put you two in contact.
Get us in
He's
contact.
awesome. And he's awesome. He is something else.
I have a list of jobs that I really want to interview and a mall Santa. Okay.
I got you.
We're gonna talk after.
No worries, yeah. So being friends with a character is just a cleaner way of saying it. So when I say you're friends with that character, like I said, you know them inside out.
Gotcha. You know them biblically.
You know them way like it's almost like you two are one.
this is getting very religious, like very Adam and Eve. So as long as you are in the same size range of what this specific costume, so it's not like, for example, if you're dressing up as I don't know, you're dressing up as a bunny rabbit. They don't have like a large, medium, and small rabbit. It's like this rabbit is only size large, and then this mouse is only size small, and then this alien is only size whatever.
Right.
Okay.
So yeah, basically it's not a one size fits all.
So how many different how many different characters were you friends with at a time?
Are we talking? At this one particular place, I was two. I was friends with two characters, and then depending on, like I said, because companies hire actors as well to do that, so they're going to measure you, they're going to measure your height, and then go by what they have. Because if like you and I are working an event together, you're taller than me, so I might be friends with that character, but then since you're working with me, you're going to be friends with that character. I'm not. I'm shorter than you, so then they'll have another character that I will be friends with. So when I say you're friends with that character, like I said, you know them inside out.
Gotcha. You know them biblically.
You know them way like it's almost like you two are one.
this is getting very religious, like very Adam and Eve. Okay, so if let's say, for example, you have a last minute cancellation, are you someone else who's the same size? You'll be like, hey, Jessie, change of plans. You're no longer playing X. You're playing Y, and you just got to be like, does every character have the same dance routine? Do you all have the same movements?
Certain ones. So like it's called in the showbiz world, everything from Broadway to, theme park shows. It's a track. Everybody has a track. So you learn a track, basically. So whoever you're friends with, you learn that track. And then if you are approved to be friends with another character, you can learn that track. I wasn't an understudy, so we had an understudy in our show, and she had to learn 5 tracks.
Did she fit into all 5?
Mm-hmm. She was one of those awesome people that was like, dang, you could do anything you want.
Really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it's weird that they didn't put her as one of the main characters. She was just an understudy.
She came in, I think she was like one of the last people to audition, because they cast once you go through an audition process. If you are not cast for like a secret dancer show, they start taking a look at you, and it's like, okay, well, maybe she can do this, maybe she can do this, stuff like that.
So they kind of keep their options open for what characters you can be friends with.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so, like I said, you're measured. Your height is measured. So there's only certain ones that you can be friends with.
Gotcha. Okay, so you show up on your very, very first day of work, and they're like, okay, by the way, surprise, this is your costume.
Yeah, so they tell me who I'm friends with, and I was like, what? And I pulled them to the side, and I was like, I don't know how to do this. And they were like, oh, no worries. They're going to teach you. And that's where the fun began.
So, okay, you're like, all right, this is this character that I'm playing, and from my understanding, it's like larger than life.
Yeah. So your friend can weigh from like maybe 10 pounds to 30 pounds.
Your friend weighs close to 30 pounds?
One of them did, yeah.
And like theme parks in general are more of a summertime thing.
Exactly.
So are you indoors or outdoors?
Each park is different. Those of you who are indoors, God bless. Most of my time I was spent outdoors.
Really? So you're standing out there in the sun, in the heat, in 30 pounds of friend.
A friend, yeah.
A friend. It's so strange. And okay, so you're getting in there. You're like, all right, this is your friend. This is who you are, and they push you out on stage. Go.
Yeah, like so.
No rehearsal.
No, we go in. My first day, like being hired, we did 2 weeks of rehearsal of the show.
Okay, so it wasn't like your first day on the job. You're doing a live show.
Right. Yeah. I mean, even in anybody's first day, I can say, even if you've had training or you're prepared, like you're still like, oh my God, like what is happening? What can happen? And we'll talk about that in a minute. So yeah, 2 weeks of like rehearsal. So you had to learn, like I said, you had to learn the show. You had to learn how to maneuver your friend.
Okay.
So if your friend has its own feet, you can't, like, if your movement is to like cross over your own feet, 9 times out of 10 that's not happening. So now you have to take the choreography that you've learned, and when you are friends with your friend, you have to now do another week of rehearsals as your friend, and you are learning that you may not be able to cross your feet, or that you can't really turn on the balls of your own feet. So you have to like learn how to turn maybe flat-footed or on your heels, which is in the dance world a really bad thing. And so you're kind of go against like your practice and your technique. So you as a person, you feel weird, but your friend is happy, and you have to portray that.
But it's like, because it's very like large. It's very clunky. It's very.
Oh, of course.
Meaning, and a lot of these friends have tails. A lot of them have huge.
A lot of them are top heavy. Some are bottom heavy. Some have open at the bottom. So you have to learn, you have to adjust, and that's what rehearsal is somebody will come in and teach you. When I first started, we had somebody from a certain company come in and teach us. They taught us how to take care of our friend and how to maneuver our friend.
What do you mean by take care of them?
Take care of, like, keeping them clean, keeping our friend clean.
So you have to wash your costume?
Yeah, some places, lucky you, if you have like a washing service, lucky you. But those of us who are not so lucky, so this is when they had to come in and like show us how to care for them.
So you would
to wash them.
You would take them home with you?
No. Luckily, the places had like a small area at least, so that we could go in. Now each show had to take turns. At one point, each show had to like take turns. So usually somebody would volunteer to just do laundry like throughout the night, and like I would have to spend the night at these places and do laundry all night.
And you're washing everybody's, and each one has to, like, because you can't just they don't fit in a washing machine.
Exactly.
How do you wash them?
You just once they're disassembled, you would put them into a washing machine. Like certain characters can't go in with other ones. Some can only go in by themselves because they may require bleach. Some may not.
So you have to disassemble them and put them back together. How many pieces are they all made up of?
Each one is different. Mine that I have been played with, I think my hardest one, I would probably say about 6 pieces.
And then how does it all connect? Does it snap, zipper? Like,
you have different ones, Velcro, zipper. One of them had like a metal rod that was in it that you had to put together and pin. Yeah, and it was like a backpack, like a strap.
And you don't have like a wardrobe department, like a person there that's helping you get in and out of these costumes? Like you have to do it all yourself?
We do have a human. We're gracious enough to get a human being.
So every character comes with an assigned human?
So on like if you see on the meet and greets and stuff, you'll see a person usually at a spot with a character or two. With shows, usually it's just your tech person.
So hold on. So you have this human, and what's the purpose of this human?
They have to be your eyes and ears. This person has to be your lookout because, like I said, and I'm partially deaf in my right ear. A lot of people don't know that. So putting it on, a lot more of my hearing goes away. My vision is very clouded. So sometimes like this is all I can see. It's just like literally straight straight ahead. Sometimes all you can see is straight down.
So you're in 30 extra pounds of 6 pieces on you, kind of held together by like toothpicks and chewing gum a little bit.
Pretty much.
I mean, first of all, this sounds like a recipe for like a wardrobe malfunction.
Oh, of course.
Does that happen?
Oh, of course.
During a show, or
we're very, very careful, try not to, but I mean, accidents.
what kind of
do happen.
what kind of situations have you or your friends gotten into?
I would just say this one piece of advice: please just check yourself, make sure everything is clipped or assembled. You never know when you're going to have a random teenager jump on your back and then your top part falls off in front of everybody.
Has that happened?
Yes.
What do you do in a situation like that? Does your human intervene?
Very quickly, if they're paying attention, yes.
Your human sometimes is not paying attention?
Uh-huh.
What are they doing? They're out there
God,
like
who knows? Well, I mean,
flirting
like,
with a single mom and their 2 kids.
Scatterbrained. I love it when they complain it's hot. I'm just like, really? Come take a step in my shoes.
Do you ever get to be the human for characters? Or is it like...
There are times that they have switched off, but most of my time, no. Because even though this world was new to me, I actually ended up enjoying it a lot more than I thought. I really did.
I mean, it definitely sounds like a cool experience.
Oh,
if
you're a theater person, it's a great job. It will definitely teach you like spatial awareness. Like you get it in school, but you don't know spatial awareness until you become friends with a character. You don't know what that is.
Because and then like how wide is it?
So one of my characters that I was friends with, I probably had a good maybe 7 to 10 inches in front of me where my body didn't touch.
Is it snug on the inside or is it very loose on the inside?
So one friend was a little bit snug, and so that's where like a gender pod would come in.
What's a gender pod?
A gender pod is just exactly what it sounds. A gender pod is to put on to conceal your gender. There is no male or female.
So does that mean that any character can be played by any gender? Meaning, okay, like if let's say we go to certain characters are obviously male and obviously female, right? That we see in the cartoons.
Right. Some of your characters are gendered.
So do you have to have a male playing a male character and a female playing a female character?
No, and that's another thing. That's not always the case. So if you go to an event, a park, anything like that, it's just best not to punch or kick them because you don't know what they conceal.
Back up for a second. First of all, it's best not to punch and kick anyone
exactly
ever. But I have heard about this, that there are, I was like kind of Googling it last night, like, different theme park characters, stuff they have to put up with, things that, we had talked about it briefly, but one of the things that kept coming up is violence against these characters, that people for some reason
think it's
love
funny
to hit them and beat them up and throw things at them. Like what kind of experiences have you had with that?
So I was friends with, I guess, a male character, you would say. And because they saw a male character, they just assumed that their friend was a male. And it wasn't true. So luckily for me, I had a gender pod on this day. Sometimes I'll not wear them. I'll get away with it. But
and is this kind of like...
it's like material, so it's like thick foam. Okay, it's like thick foam and it's like straight. So like I said, for females, it's to conceal your uppers, and for males, it's to conceal your lowers. I was out just with people and with my friend, and this guy walks up to me and punches me so hard that he ended up breaking the foam of the gender pod underneath. And if I hadn't had that foam on, he probably could have maybe even cracked a rib. I just remember when he punched me, it just went blank for a second. Everything went blank for a second. And I was holding my breath because you're not allowed to talk. You're not allowed to make noise.
You can't scream in
pain?
Nothing,
no.
But you've just been injured.
Doesn't matter. That's your job.
It's
part of your job. So
my job is to interview you, but if this place was on fire, I'd run out.
Right, exactly. But we're not. But I mean, people can see us. Where in that industry, it's a hush hush type of deal. So, yeah, my human, and then luckily we actually had another human there. grabbed me, and then when I got out of sight, then I started letting out a scream and cry. And when they took the ginger pod off of me, there was a big bruise on the top. It had already formed on the top of my stomach, like right underneath my breast. If I didn't wear that pod that day, I mean, it could have been some serious damage.
Did they catch the person who did this to you?
I don't know, because a lot of times when people do crazy crap like that, they run.
What is wrong with people? I could never, like, I could never imagine, like, going to a theme park or someone going to a theme park and being like, today I'm going to, like, punch.
But they do it, and they think it's funny. They think it's a joke, and they don't realize the harm. Because, like you said, it's already 30 pounds of whatever, and now you're adding. Like, we have to learn to walk in that stuff. We have to adjust. So we're already using balance, using walking, maneuvering, and now you're going to punch me.
Everything's already more difficult. Everything is heightened.
Already. Yeah, exactly.
What are the consequences of somebody attacking a character?
If they get caught, I mean, it can, I guess they can, get jailed, because it's harassment. They can get jailed.
Did you sue? Can they?
No, it's part of the job.
So under no circumstances whatsoever can you break character.
Absolutely not. You're not even supposed to fight back. And like you see on YouTube now, like certain characters are like beating up on guests, and that's a big no-no. That will get you fired and you possibly sued.
So if let's say, for example, this guy came up, punched you, and then you pushed him back, you can get in trouble?
Oh, I would be fired on the spot.
How is this legal? Where's the protection for you?
Because when you take this job, and like I said, it's a fun job, don't get it wrong, but that's part of the risk. That's the assumption of the risk, but that's also where your attendant or your human is supposed to kind of, like I said, be your eyes and ears with you and protect you. But people are shady. He punched, and I remember him running. I don't think he got caught, because they would have said something to me.
And you can't really see, like, a lot, because your vision is so blurred and obscured this entire time, right? You're seeing maybe like a few feet in front of you or something.
If you can see in front of you, like I said, sometimes it's straight ahead, sometimes it's down.
So people are like leading you, like your person is leading you on how to get around and all that?
Yeah.
And you're supposed to just dance on stage with no vision, no...
You have to use what's given to you. So in training too, and I like this one place, I loved how they trained us. It was the setup for my career, honestly. You also wear like bandanas and like hair things to try to keep the sweat out of your eyes and like your hair out of your eyes, but it doesn't always go as planned. So sometimes that bandana or whatever may fall over your eyes. You have to know that stage in that area like the back of your hand. And in one day in training, they had blindfolded us, and we did the show blindfolded.
You did the show blindfolded?
Not in front of people, but like in a rehearsal, yes. We did the show blindfolded with props and everything. And it was because you had to know your stage. You had to know exactly what your counts were. So like, even if I'm listening for a voice, and let's just say like I'm doing a side-to-side two-step, I have to count it, and a dancer would be like, and 1, 2, 3, 4. My one brain was going 1, 2, 3, 4, and my other brain was going, okay, 1 inch step, feet together, 1 inch step, feet together. And that's how my brain was working. Thank God you couldn't see our faces.
You're like, your eyes rolled back in the back of your head. Do you ever knock people over or knock stuff over or bump into things?
For sure, because you have to learn spatial awareness. Now, in a show, like I said, you know your stage, you know your choreography. So chances of that happening in a show really should be slim to none. Not to say that you may have miscounted or misstepped or whatever, and you may bump somebody else. You may turn and they didn't think about their spatial awareness, and then a piece of you hits them, knocks them down.
What kind of mess ups have you witnessed or been a part of or whatever on stage?
Sure. Well, one time I thought that I was stepping off the stage, and this is where spatial awareness comes in. I thought I was at the right angle, right place. I go to step off, and I realized I'm stepping back on the stage, but it was too late in my brain. So then I started to walk, and I just basically walked off the stage, and now here I am.
Crowd surfing.
No, there's no crowd there. A crowd is like maybe a good 5 inches back. So this is cement.
Oh, so you just
I just
boom.
fell right onto the floor, and this one friend, like I said, there was like 5-7 inches in front of me, so I can't just like get myself up. It doesn't bend. I had to like roll, and you see me like rolling, and then my human comes and gets me. And like there's a trick, you link arms with your human, and then you kind of like do a half push up. So like one arm was, this was when I was really strong, one arm is like on the ground, the other one is like linked up to the human, and we had to like work together and like push up, put my feet under me, and then I like stand back
And
up.
this is all in front of an audience.
In front of an audience.
Were you injured in this ordeal, or do you have like so much cushioning that you're fine?
I mean, it's luckily that one, because the stage wasn't that tall, thank God. It hurt my neck a little bit because when the face hit down, it's going one way or another, and I wasn't prepared. So like it was like a little crick in my neck. A little bit like towards my chest area was hurting. Luckily, I was able to finish.
And for
show.
this, you won't get fired for.
No. I mean, if it's an accident, it's an accident. If you're playing around, if you are like hungover or drunk or.
Does that happen? Are people drunk often inside of their costume?
It has been rumored that somebody was
drunk or high.
Yeah, I can't say for sure, but it has been rumored.
It's
in case it wasn't me.
Talk about around the town with the characters. But can you tell if someone is?
Yes, because you're with your cast, so it's like anybody else. You get to know these people,
right?
And to be very, very honest with you, I do a lot of things by the books, as you know me. So basically, I love my job, and any job. Don't come in and mess up. Don't do that. Because if I catch you, it's going to be hell to pay, basically.
You must have been very popular.
I mean, I totally am a fun person, but I mean, when it comes to work,
you have a job to do. And especially
and
you have
that's
so
dangerous.
much. You have so much to memorize. There's so much that can go wrong. What kind of mishaps happen during a show? Are there any like funny stories of things that can go wrong?
Oh, absolutely.
Care to share?
Absolutely. So one time in the middle of the show, this person was, let's just say, not sober. I found out later.
This wasn't you. This would happen to one of your.
This is another person. Yeah, this person.
Another cast member or
yeah.
friend. Another friend.
Yeah, another friend, and the person was not sober. I found that out later. So they're doing their dance routine, and I'm just noticing that they're wobbly a little bit. But I'm like, okay, whatever. It's like third show, and well, they do this kick. And apparently they didn't fasten everything as they were supposed to properly. And their foot comes off. And not only does it come off, but it flies in the air for everyone to see. And then this lucky dad got to be the one where it hit him right in the face.
So these people are out there watching a show.
Yes.
And out of nowhere, this giant foot comes out and just hits them in the face.
Yeah.
Does the show stop?
Nope. They just passed it forward, handed it back to us, and we went on.
Did he get fired?
Yes, he did.
He got fired because of this?
Yeah.
Because he wasn't sober.
Right. Yeah, when we found out later, because it's a hazard to everyone around you. You have to be on your P's and Q's when you do this.
Wow.
And I have another one too, but it wasn't that neither one of us were not sober. We were gearing up for another show, and so again, you go through those measurement requirements and things like that, and then you find out who you're going to be a friend to. I'm trying the piece on, and it's like a top piece, so it's basically like a top head piece, and it comes all the way down to like maybe your midsection. So I'm trying it on, and my boss at the time, he's like touching me, fitting it on me, and he's like, "What's this bulge? Why does it have a bulge here?" And he's like grabbing it. And I go, "That's not a bulge. Those are my boobs." And he like pulls his hands away, and he's like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry."
This is where that comes in when you're talking about that the gender plates.
Yeah. Gender pod, yeah.
Gender
but
pod.
These certain friends didn't have gender pods.
So they had to make one special for you for this.
No, I just had to tie my boobs down. But
that sounds really painful.
Well, I mean, you live and you learn. So, but you know, it was probably the most action I got that year anyway, but still. It was really funny. Freaked him out. Yeah.
Has it happened that someone would like throw up, or
Oh,
you
for
have to go to the
sure.
bathroom? Like
Oh,
what?
sure, absolutely.
Have you have you ever thrown up inside of your
Thank
costume?
God, no. I have seen someone do that, and I'm a sympathetic vomiter, and I was like, please don't come around me. Like, I literally slammed the door on this person.
Wait, did they throw up on stage?
No, they went back, and then, of course, they come back one stage, and this time I'm, like, noticing that they're stumbling a little bit, and I'm like, oh, what's wrong with this character?
This one's drunk again.
Yeah, this one's drunk. No, this character is, like, stumbling, and so then when we get into the back, they basically was like, we're going to have to get this one really cleaned. And I'm like, well, why? What do you mean? What do you
He
mean?
shit himself.
No.
He threw up.
He threw up.
What about like on stage? If let's say you're, you know,
I've been
like,
sick. I've been sick. I luckily, like I said, I've never thrown up, but I have gotten dizzy. I've gotten sick, and you either can, like one instance, I was supposed to have a prop. I didn't grab the prop. I just like mimicked it. And that was like a sign to be like, wait a minute, because they all know me. I'm spot on. I don't forget stuff. So once they figured out that I wasn't feeling well, I was kind of doing the best I could, but not getting like overexerted, because we would rather you not throw up
inside of the costume.
ever.
Right.
I don't care. In, out, like, just don't throw up.
Or what if you have like a different, if you have to really go to the bathroom, or you know, nature calls, or
Exactly. I've had a couple of those moments too, where food just didn't agree with me. Luckily for that particular one, I was able to like get out in time and like go to the bathroom. However, I did have an incident where basically, and ladies, we all know this feeling when something is about to happen to our body, and you're in the middle of a show or an event, and you're like, oh my God, it's going to happen, and it's going to happen now. And I felt that little inkling, and I was like, oh my God, my period is about to start. I don't know what I'm going to do. And I had to tell my human, I was like, listen, because
wait, are you on stage at the time?
Yeah.
How do you communicate that to your human?
So a song break that your friend isn't singing, you run off stage.
So you're in middle of a show.
Middle of a
First of
show.
all, I'm a man. I had no idea that you can like feel when your period is coming. I'm very not,
Yeah,
you know, in
so,
that.
yeah.
How would I know?
Right.
So I didn't even know that you can like feel it coming on.
And I'm going to say this because sometimes you may not catch it. You might be sleeping, or you just may not. You're thinking like, no way. Like you're just double guessing yourself. This particular one, the gods were speaking to me and was like, you need to get off the stage
Because
now.
that's even more horrifying. Was this, if it had happened, would it have gone through the costume?
Oh, you would have seen it for sure. Absolutely.
Was it like a white costume?
Uh-huh.
Okay. So basically, you're on stage in front of all these little kids, and they're like, "Mommy, why? Oh my God, why is he dying? Is she dying?
Why is it dying? No.
Why is it bleeding? That sounds. Yeah, that literally sounds horrifying.
Yeah.
So did you catch it on time?
Oh my God, thank God. Yeah, but I had to like argue with this person because I get off, I finally find a moment and I run off, and I was like, listen, I need to like get to my unders real quick. And the person's like, why? And I was like, my period just started and I feel like it's gonna be like, because sometimes if it's cramping really hard, ladies, you know this, you know it's gonna be bad. And that cramp came on and I was like, it's gonna be bad. I need to do this. Luckily, there was another human in the back who was like, I got you. But after this argument with this other human, and I was like, you're wasting time, okay? We have 30 seconds. Please let me do this. And he's like, can't you just hold it? And I was like, so if a woman is giving birth, you're going to ask her to hold it. And he goes, well, that's different. I was like, no. Same hole, buddy. Same hole. It doesn't, I don't get that off.
First of all, that's very, very sexist of this person.
Mm-hmm.
And second of all, you know, it sounds a little bit like, yes, this job is fun and all, but they put you through a lot of, like, do they have your best interest at heart? Meaning, like, you get beaten up, but you can't cry out in pain, and it's like kind of comes with the territory. Then you have to, if you can you hold it, like, your human rights come first?
I know it, like, yeah. And see, I didn't want it to sound like that, because when I was explaining to this person about that moment, their mind was in the middle of a show. And I get that, because any actor in the middle of a show, you're just thinking about the show. That's all you're doing.
The show must go on.
The show must go on. However, if you can prevent some things, do that. So luckily that human had to go away, and the other human was already on me going, I got you, don't worry. And then I had to do the unthinkable. I had to put a pad on in front of this person, and then
You don't get to go to the bathroom?
No, it was too far. I only had like 10 seconds left to get back.
So you went out there, went backstage, did your thing really, really quickly, and got back on stage? That, like...
I felt like a hero. Thank you.
Bravo to you. I mean, honestly, I would have
felt
been
like a
I'm
superhero.
going home. Like, I'm done. Like,
Well, because I mean, I could feel it. I could feel it. And it was just like one of those moments that God was speaking on me, and it was like, I have to do this. And thank God to that other human who was just like, I got you, and it was embarrassing to do that in front of somebody, but you're also like, the show has to go on.
what do you wear underneath these costumes?
So you are supposed to wear stuff that's supposed to cover you, like at least cover your armpits and your areas down there. It has been rumored that people have done their job naked. I'm going to advise against that.
Going commando?
Don't do your job naked.
That's disgusting, because you have to
Exactly.
because other people wear this costume as well.
Other people are friends with that person, yes.
So you're in a costume that other people have gone in naked probably, and there's just
Listen, I don't want to know if it hangs low, does it wobble to the fro, can you tie it in a knot, can you tie it in a bow? I don't want to know that. Even backstage, honey, why am I seeing more of you than I see of my partner? Like, I'm not about to have sex with you. Why do I see everything you own?
Does that ever happen though? People having sex backstage?
It has been rumored that it has.
There are so many rumors that happen back here. This is so exciting.
It has been rumored. Like I said, I cannot confirm that, but I'm going to say no.
It hasn't been rumored that people...
I haven't heard that.
Because I can imagine it would be like a little bit of a kink, like your favorite cartoon character getting
But it's hard. But there's too many pieces. It's too complex, so I'm going to say no.
It's too complex.
Okay. I'm going to say no. However, a dressing room is a dressing room. And
it's showbiz, baby.
That's showbiz. That's everywhere. Like, I'm pretty sure if we were on set, man, Red's trailer is rocking.
Never. I don't get trailers.
Not yet, anyway. One day when we make it big. But when you're doing your job, you just don't think about that. Lysol is your best friend. Before this like Rona thing happened, and everybody's like, "Oh my God, give me some Lysol, honey." I've been on the Lysol tip, honey, because I have to spray everything down. I'm also going to ask that you please take a shower before you come in, because the funk, honey, is real, and personal hygiene is. Listen, don't come to work with lice.
People come to work with lice
and then not tell people, and then next thing you know, I'm wondering why my head is itching. And now I'm combing out bugs. Oh, yeah.
And you can get this from your costume. Mm-hmm. Because you're, like, for example, I'm assuming they have shows every, like, 2 hours or whatever, right?
Yeah, every day. Like
every day.
So, like I said, well, every place is different. Events, it's like 30 minutes on, 30 minutes off.
And then somebody else takes your same costume?
If it's an event, more likely you're hired for the day. So
okay.
Like if it's inside, you may do an hour. Like, this is a pretty nice air-conditioned room. So if I was a friend of somebody, what I'm saying is, though, is that you're, meaning the way that you can get like bugs and other stuff is that you're wearing this costume how soon after someone else wore it? It could be the next day. So
somebody, like wore it one day, they didn't wash it, left it there. You show up to work the next day,
right?
And you have to put this on.
But the thing is like, I mean, and this happened to me. Like somebody, and I didn't even know the person. I was off, and next thing you know, I come in and there's people there that I don't know, and I'm introducing myself, and then coming home, I just remember like my head itching, and I was like, what? And then we found out that we had lice, and then we found out that the area was infected with lice because somebody came in and didn't, like, I guess they either didn't know or was ashamed to say. But just personal hygiene, We know you can't take a bath during the day, but at least bring some deodorant. At least bring some, like, powder.
So this it smells inside of there.
Oh, absolutely.
What other weird surprises have you found inside of your costumes?
This one was probably my top favorite, besides the period one. I was in the middle of a show, and all of a sudden, I see legs crawling down my face, right onto my nose. And you can't talk, can't scream. That's all you can do. And I just took in a deep breath and was like, oh my God, it's a spider. It's a spider on my face. And like I come in, so I was like, oh my God. So I grab my human and like they take care of it by smacking my face and smacking it off. So now I'm just like, okay, I have a bruise about to form on my face, but I mean it was that
Something's worth getting bruised for. So you have a spider crawling down your face mid show. You can't scream. Are you afraid of spiders?
I'm terrified. So it took all of my will and my might.
What would it take for you to actually break character? Because you've gotten punched, didn't break character. You had a spider crawling down your face, you didn't break character. You had, cramps and blood, and you didn't break character. What is there anything that could happen that you would break character for?
I'm very professional, and I'm very so I wouldn't make noise, but like, let's just say fire or like a zombie apocalypse was happening, I would definitely run the fastest I could.
Zombie apocalypse. I mean, that's a little far. Let's say no, for real talk, an active shooter.
Oh,
would you?
I've actually been in one of those. So
you were in an active shooter situation?
Yeah, it was a theme park. I was attending characters.
So you were the human.
I was the human.
Okay.
So, it was, and I didn't hear it or see it, but all I did hear was somebody tap me on the shoulder and say, "Get these things out of here. There's an active shooter." And I can't remember how exactly I got from point A to point B, but I did remember that when I got to point B, I had somebody chucked on my shoulder, another person chucked under me, and I was kicking one character. And when we got there, they were like, "What's going on? What's going on?" And I said, I was just told that there was a shooter and we need to stay put until it's clear.
And that's first of all, that's a really scary situation to be in.
It is. My adrenaline went through the roof.
What ended up happening over there?
Eventually, they came around and told us that it was clear to go. We were clear to go.
Was it actually, or was it someone suspected it?
They never told us. They're, like I said, because you're not trying to scare people.
Right.
And so a lot of places are very concealing. If it doesn't need to happen, you don't need to know. You don't need to know the information as long as you're safe.
Well, I mean, as long as there were no if you didn't hear of fatalities, it wasn't on the news, then it probably was more of a.
Was it on the news? Probably was. It probably was on the news. Like I said, I didn't hear anything because when I do my job, I'm very focused, and whether I'm an attendant or whether I'm friends with a character, I'm very focused.
You guys have signals.
We do.
Can you talk to me about that a little bit? What are some of the signs and signals that you can communicate with other characters or with your human?
Sure. If you can't see, you, the person controlling the character, if you can't see, one place was cover their eyes or do the best to cover your eyes. Another place was cover your attendant's eyes or your human's eyes. And that signals to let them know that you need to adjust real quick. If you're not feeling, I guess, too well, you can wipe the sweat off of you. But a lot of times too, that's a lot of people's haha, playful. So it's very, just minute. I remember one character wrapping their arms around their stomach, and it was kind of a signal for, we gotta go. I think I'm sick, type of deal.
What are some of the rules that you have to follow in the theme park?
You never admit who you are. You don't talk.
Hence this secrecy throughout this whole interview.
Exactly. That's why I'm like, listen, we got to be very careful. You stay, very secretive. You don't post pictures of your friend heads off, if that makes sense.
So do you have pictures of you in character?
I'm probably sure I do somewhere, not on my phone.
Gotcha. So you ever wonder like how many people?
Well, see, I did this back before social media was a thing. Thank God. Like I think Facebook had just came out when I started. So
How long did you do it for?
almost 10 years.
Almost 10 years.
And I would do it again.
Would you?
Absolutely.
Can I ask you, what do you, after all this that they put you through, what's the pay for this?
So I actually started with another company inside of a theme park.
Okay.
So we got paid by the day. I want to say it was like $50 a day.
$50 a day to get punched, and
and then it ended up becoming minimum wage. If you work for the theme park, it's minimum wage usually. Events, you could get paid some like $200 a day, depending on the company. I would do it again, but I went top dollar now.
to me that's insane that this theme park will have you doing so much, washing the costumes, the rehearsals, the dance routines,
Well, now they get their own people to wash them. Wardrobe is now a thing.
What are some of the biggest like do's and don'ts for people? If let's say like you can send a message to people going to a theme park, interacting with these characters, what would you
Sure.
tell them not to do?
Yeah, just be a decent human being. Respect them. Don't punch and pull and, prod at them, because first of all, we have our own little secret ways of defending ourselves without getting in trouble. Like if you pull my arm and I stop short and you bump into me and fall, that's not my fault.
So you'll accidentally people
will accidentally you'll accidentally bump into me, but I'm ready. Don't hand your 2-month-old, your 1-month-old baby to a character. First of all, let's just take a look at it. Don't do that. Don't you see that it's probably like fur or it's a huge hand? Don't you think that they can't really grab a hold of that? And then your baby is squirmy. That's a recipe for disaster.
because everything is so large.
Everything is so
that
large.
you can't really grasp and
Right.
hold a baby.
Yeah, that character may not be able to make a fist. So let's think about that.
So, have you known anyone to drop a baby?
No, thank God. But I mean, it's just every time people do it, I cringe.
Are you allowed to say no?
Yes. So one of the signals, actually, if they said if someone's to handle your baby, you are to cross your arms in front of you as a signal of no.
And you can't get in trouble for that, because that's a liability. Who wants to hold someone's 2-month-old baby?
As a human, I don't want to hold your baby.
As a human and as a character. Really, really quickly, what do you have against characters? For example, like in Times Square, you'll have people dressed up as all sorts of different things. Why do you feel that this is?
Because they make this industry like a joke. They treat it like a joke, and it's a beautiful thing. It's hard work. First of all, it's hot. You have to keep up stamina like you wouldn't believe. They take their heads off. First of all, I'm sorry, Minnie Mouse should not be 400 pounds. And no offense to anybody, but that's not what you do. Also, I'm 5'7". Minnie Mouse should not be as tall as me. That is freaky. And the first time I went to New York and I saw these characters like all over Times Square, and I was like, oh my God. Like I took a picture with Mickey, and I was like, this brings back joy and memories. And then Mickey goes, woohoo, how about a tip? And I was like, what? So I could hear this person talking, and then he like flips his mask off and goes, how about a tip? And I was with a friend who also did this kind of work, and we looked at each other. I like pulled out a random dollar, threw it at him, and ran. And it freaked me out. And so
It breaks the
illusion, but it also freaks you out. It's like another rule is if you're in a show, do not sit still for more than 2 minutes, because if you do and then you go to move, it freaks people out.
Do people tip you at this?
No.
Are you allowed to take tips?
No, you're not.
Wow. Lastly, I always end every interview asking people for advice. For example, if somebody was listening to this and after everything, for some reason, they were like, you know what, this is what I want to do. I want to be also a hot, sweaty mess in a 7-foot costume.
We glisten.
What advice do you have for people who are thinking about doing this as a job?
Do it. Honestly, it was some of the best years of my life. Yes, it's like with any job, you have the good and the bad. If you're a theater major and in theater on stage we have to do everything big, you will learn how to do everything twice as big. You will learn spatial awareness. And it's just so many cool tricks and things that you learn throughout the way that are like superhuman, like doing a show with your eyes closed because you just don't want to have your eyes open and no one can see you. So you can do that. It will teach you so much. You'll learn patience, stamina. You'll learn how to handle heat. I honestly, like I said, it has its goods and bads. The joy that you see kids coming up to you and like smiling because they see their favorite character. Also, sometimes you tend to do that when you're not working and you realize, oh my God, okay, these kids don't know me and I'm holding my hands out for them to hug me. Or you're working, no one can see your face and they take a picture of you and you're smiling. Like, no one can see you. Stop smiling. But overall, it was a great experience. And I hope I didn't make this podcast discouraging, like to keep people away from this job, because it's wonderful, to be very honest.
I don't think it's discouraging for people. I think that, if you have a passion for acting and you have a passion for theater and you have a passion for the arts and you have a passion for playing characters and having fun, I mean, obviously in any industry, you're going to have a lot of cool, fun, interesting experiences and stories, and that's to me what makes it interesting. If things didn't go wrong and it was all very boring every day, you may as well work at a desk and
it won't be fun. Yeah, you have no interesting stories to tell.
It makes it fun. I mean, I think that after listening to this, it's like, all right, that would be a cool experience. Jessie, sitting here today talking to you has just been so much fun.
We
gotta hang out more often. Please, if you want to check out Jessie on Instagram, you can drop your Insta handle.
Sure. Instagram, Jess, JESS _ the symbol, not the word, entertains.
That's what you do.
Yeah, that's what I do, obviously. Hey. It's it's a lot of content on there. Facebook, just Jessie Adcock. You'll see me standing actually in front of a mountain in Alaska.
Fun. Well, thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of It's My Job to Know Yours. Make sure to subscribe on YouTube, to like us on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, everywhere where you can find us. Listen to our other episodes, Spotify, Apple, Pandora, wherever we are, you know where to find us. Thank you so much. Jessie, thank you so much for being here today. This has been really, really fun. You are, just a joy to have around, and I really appreciate you being here.
Thank you. It was awesome. So good to see you again.
Of course. Take care.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Well, I just did my job, so now it's time for you to do your job, which is to hit that subscribe button. Because if you don't do your job, I'm going to lose my job, and let's face it, I'm qualified for nothing.